It was the first day of the new term at Okeola's girls' boarding school, located just outside Abeokuta. The students wearing their crisp blue uniforms arrived from different parts of the state. Among them was Ayinke, a girl known for her quiet nature and stunning hairstyles that no one could figure out. In the dormitory, the girls were settling in when Agbeke, Ayinke's close friend, stared at Ayinke's hair with a mixture of awe and curiosity. "Ayinke, your hair looks perfect again," Agbeke said, trying not to sound too amazed. "How do you do it? Every day it's a new style, but I have never seen anyone help you." Ayinke smiled mischievously, adjusting her braids. She just "It's just something I do myself," she replied softly. Agbeke nodded, but deep down, she did not believe it. She had never seen Ayinke touch her hair at all, not even in the middle of the night. Something wasn't adding up, and Agbeke's curiosity grew. Every day at school, the girls admired Ayinke's hair, whether it was beautifully braided cornrows, twisted or intricate design, it always looked flawless. The other girls begged her to teach them how she did it. "Ayinke, please, show us your trick," one of the girls, Tope, said eagerly during break. But Ayinke always smiled and gave the same answer. "It's nothing special. I just do it myself." Agbeke, however, wasn't convinced. It had shared a dormitory with Ayinke for 2 years and had never once seen her plait her hair. There had to be something more going on. Ayinke would sit on a small stool in front of the mirror. She always stared by losing her hair from the previous style. Her thick dark hair would cascade down her back, looking normal to anyone who might walk in. But the secret was in what she did next. Once her hair was fully undone, Ayinke would remove her head from her neck, placing it gently on her lap. This gave her a perfect view of her own hair from any angle, something impossible for anyone else to do. With her head on her lap, she could easily reach the back, sides, and top of her head without straining or using a mirror. Ayinke would then proceed to plait her hair using techniques she had learned from her grandmother, who also had the same gift. Each style she created reflected her deep cultural heritage and creativity. Some nights she would go for simple cornrows, while other nights she would make intricate designs that no one else could replicate. Once the plaiting or twisting was done, Ayinke would inspect her work with her head on her lap. She had full control over the final touches, whether it was adjusting a stray hair or tightening a plait that wasn't quite right. She could see every angle as clearly as if she were looking at someone else's head. When she was satisfied with the hairstyle, Ayinke would lift her head from her lap and carefully place it back on her neck. There was no seam, no indication that her head had ever been removed. Her hair would sit perfectly as though she had spent hours in a salon. The next morning, Ayinke would emerge from the dormitory with a fresh, beautiful hairstyle that left all the other girls in awe. They marveled at how she always managed to create something new, something they couldn't even attempt to copy. "Ayinke, this style is so beautiful," one girl, Shade, said in admiration. "How do you do it? You have magic fingers." Ayinke would only smile and say, "It's just practice." She never revealed that it wasn't her fingers that were involved in the process, but her ability to see every detail of her hair from a vantage point no one else could. Agbeke's curiosity about Ayinke's hair grew with each passing day. Every morning, Ayinke would show up with a fresh, flawless hairstyle that no one could explain. The other girls would crowd around her, admiring the designs that looked like they had been done by a professional. But no one could ever catch Ayinke in the act of braiding her hair. One day, after another round of admiration from the other girls, Agbeke decided she couldn't stand it anymore. She had to find out Ayinke's secret. "Ayinke, please, just tell me how you do it," Agbeke said, cornering Ayinke one afternoon after class. "You have the most beautiful braids, but I have never seen you touch your hair." Ayinke gave her friend a small, mysterious smile. "I told you, Agbeke, I just do it myself. It's not a big deal." But Agbeke knew there was more to the story. She watched Ayinke carefully each night, staying up late, hoping to see her plaiting her hair. Yet every morning, she would wake up to find Ayinke's hair already styled in a perfect new design. One night, determined to finally uncover the truth, Agbeke stayed wide awake. She lay in her bunk bed, pretending to sleep but keeping one eye open, waiting for Ayinke to make a move. Sure enough, just as the dormitory was quiet and the other girls had drafted off to sleep, Ayinke quietly slipped out of bed. Agbeke felt a rush of excitement and fear. She had never dared to follow Ayinke before, but tonight she was ready to find out the truth. One quiet night, Agbeke decided that she had to uncover Ayinke's secret once and for all. Ayinke had always been so careful to sneak away when everyone was asleep, but Agbeke, full of curiosity, was determined to follow her friend in secret. She waited, watching from her bed as Ayinke slipped out of the dormitory and tiptoed down the hallway. Careful not to make a sound, Agbeke slid out of bed and followed her at a safe distance. Ayinke went straight to the small, dimly lit bathroom at the end of the dormitory hall and closed the door behind her. Agbeke held her breath quietly, positioning herself by the small crack in the door. Inside, Ayinke had taken her seat in front of the mirror. She untied her scarf, letting her thick, beautiful hair fall free. Agbeke watched, her heart pounding with both excitement and fear. What was she about to see? Then Ayinke did something that made Agbeke nearly gasp aloud. She reached up, lifted her head off from her neck, and gently placed it on her lap. Agbeke's eyes went wide in shock, but she clapped her hand over her mouth to keep herself from making any noise. With her head resting on her lap, Agbeke began to braid her hair with skills and ease. Her finger worked swiftly, creating a pattern that seemed impossibly perfect. Agbeke watched, frozen in amazement. She had finally discovered Ayinke's secret, but it was nothing like she had imagined. When Ayinke finished plaiting her hair, she gently lifted her head and placed it back on her neck just as carefully as before. But as she stood up, she sensed something was different. She glanced towards the door and her eyes met Agbeke's. "Agbeke?" Ayinke's voice was a mixture of shock and worry. "What are you doing here?" Agbeke stepped back, looking guilty and nervous. "I'm sorry, Ayinke. I wanted to know how you did it. I have been so curious." Ayinke sighed, her face softened as she took in her friend's expression. "I did not want anyone to know," she said quietly. "This is something my family had kept hidden for generations. It's not something people would understand." Agbeke nodded, still overwhelmed by what she had witnessed. "I promise, Ayinke, I won't tell anyone, I swear it, but I'm glad I know now. Your hair is so beautiful." Ayinke managed a small smile. "Thank you, Agbeke, but please, you must never mention this to anyone." Agbeke nodded again, her heart filled with both wonder and loyalty. "Your secret is safe with me, Ayinke. I will never speak of it." From that night on, the two girls shared a bond even deeper than before. Agbeke had uncovered the mysteries of Ayinke's beautiful braids, but she knew it was a secret she would protect with all her heart. And each morning, when the other girls admired Ayinke's perfect hairstyle, Agbeke would only smile, knowingly she had seen a wonder that no one else could ever imagine. Please, friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all.